joined now by Seth Holm with a shipper update for us. What do you have for us today, Seth?
Thanks, Kyle. Deutsche Bank put out a research note a couple days ago on their transportation team titled Bullish in 2020. So I wanted to give you a few highlights on why they actually are bullish in 2020. So firstly, they took a look at the Cass Freight Shipments Index, which is my chart back here. Now this has been negative for 9 straight months. Now typically when they took a look at freight recessions, on average they last about 18 straight months. So 9 months to go, they see this turning up and going positive sort of in mid-2020. So, and then they think equities will sort of begin to discount that in advance. So that's good news there. Secondly, they took a look at the DHL Global Trade Barometer Index, and that is at 48 now, which is negative for the first time in the last few years. Anything under 50 is contractionary and anything above is expansionary. Now that doesn't sound like good news, but anytime it's going negative in the past few years, you tend to get a very sharp and fast rebound. Now lastly, they took a look at a lot of the global leading indicators, industrial production, things like PMIs. Now, 2 months ago, only 10% of the world's PMIs were in expansion mode, and now that's sort of stabilized, bottom, and is hooking back up. Now you're at 16%. So all those, when they put them together, look good for the transportation market in 2020.
Excellent. So where do you see this affecting the U.S. trucking market?
Right. So they were actually positive on all the asset-heavy segments of transportation. They like rails, they like truckload, and they like LTL. Specifically within the rails, they like the rails because PSR, a lot of these rails have lowered their ORs in the sort of the mid to high 50s range, and they've been able to do this at a time when volumes have been weak and negative, and so they think there's going to be a big profit snapback whenever those volumes do turn positive. Now, as far as the full truckload market, it's kind of interesting. They're calling 2020 a tale of two halves, and so they think the first half of 2020 might be a little rough, and then the second half we should see a nice big rebound. So looking at third quarter earnings, which are coming up, they expect more misses and guide downs and that sort of stuff, but they think that will set the stage for a recovery when those estimates bottom out and then they can beat them. Now the last thing I wanted to talk about that I thought was interesting on their take on the trucking market is they talked about how Class 8 truck orders are running below replacement demand. So on the Freight Intel team, we kind of came up with a number, rough number for what we think replacement demand is. It's about 200,000 trucks. And if you look at the Class 8 truck orders so far this year and you annualize them, it's only about 150,000. So you're talking about a shortfall of about 50,000 trucks, which relative to capacity, that's like 4%. And right now OTVI is running up 5%, so that looks like a really good setup when you've got volumes up 5% and you're taking 4% of capacity out of the market. That looks really good for trucking going into 2020.
Thank you so much. Fantastic perspective with some positive news for you on this Wednesday. Make sure you stay tuned every day for your shipper update.